Good evening. Tonight on Eagle Eye News at 6, we will be covering the campus-wide protests over sexual assault that occurred at Auburn University this week, as well as a more national sexual assault story. We will also be checking on the current COVID-19 situation nationally and locally as the potential for booster shots is being discussed. And of course, we will take a look at this week's Pet of the Week. All of that and more coming up on Eagle Eye News at 6. Stay tuned. Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Jack West.
And I'm Heesun, Yoon. We begin our evening with a sensitive story regarding a sexual assault report that occurred on Auburn University's campus last week. Reported by Auburn Campus Safety, a female student was raped at a fraternity house last Friday night. Part of a disturbing sequence, this is the third incident of sexual misconduct reported by Campus Safety in the past 2 weeks. The university has not released the name of the fraternity at which the incident occurred, a decision that sparked a sizable protest. On September 14th, protesters at Sanford Lawn wore red to show support for sexual assault victims and began a hashtag called Name the Frat in an effort to hold the perpetrator of the crime accountable. An organizer of the event who wishes to remain anonymous said, "After being a victim at such a young age, the incompetence of Auburn's safety team has made this a very hard situation on me, but being surrounded by all these amazing girls and guys really gave me the feeling of community, finally." Eagle Eye reached out to Vice President of Student Affairs, Bobby Woodard, regarding the incidents and protest and received this in response. "The safety of our students is always going to be our top priority. When incidents happen like the 3 reported over the past several days, it makes us work harder and become more determined to make this campus a safer environment for everyone. We are listening to feedback. Transparency, input from students, and engaging with our campus are crucial right now. We are going to work harder and do better, and we need student support. If you see something that's not right, let us know. Be aware of your surroundings and look out for your friends and those around you." Student Affairs will be hosting a town hall on September 24th to raise awareness of how they can help and better support students in this regard.
The Auburn University COVID Resource Center reported 100 positive cases this week. These numbers are a continuation in the trend of declining COVID cases. This report was for the week of September 6th, the week following the return to Auburn football with a packed crowd at Jordan-Hare Stadium. The AU COVID Resource Center also reported that 537 COVID tests had been conducted, with 30 returning a positive result. This is a 5.5% positivity rate, the lowest since students returned to campus. Always remember to stay safe around campus and to follow university mask mandates. You can stay up to date with Auburn's COVID situation by visiting the Auburn COVID Resource Center website.
This week, Auburn announced a new scholarship and financial aid initiative named Ever Auburn. Ever Auburn scholarships will help recruit students who exhibit both merit and need, who might otherwise choose peer schools that offer more generous aid packages. The scholarships will also extend aid to those students who are already enrolled but are in danger of not reaching the finish line for lack of resources. Ever Auburn is now open to donors and those willing to give to the university to develop a scholarship. These donations will be helping prospective and current students. Any donations will be matched by the Auburn University Foundation, the end goal being up to 150 new scholarships. John Morris, president of the Auburn University Foundation, said, "We are committed to opening Auburn's doors wider to high-performing students who cannot afford an education." More information can be found at ever.auburn.edu.
The man that broke barriers and became the first African-American Auburn student, Harold Franklin, has passed away at the age of 88. Franklin integrated Auburn in January of 1964, enrolling at the university as a graduate student. Franklin became a professor in higher education following his departure from Auburn and taught history at a plethora of colleges before his retirement in 1992. Franklin initially was not allowed to defend his thesis at Auburn at wrong that was righted last February, and he participated in the fall 2020 commencement exercises last December. The Trailblazer has been awarded with an honorary Doctor of Arts and a historic marker near RBD Library, where he first registered for class. Harold Franklin may have passed, but his legacy of being a trailblazer and leader will not soon be forgotten.
The Board of Trustees at Auburn University approved the largest budget ever for the university. The fiscal year of 2022 will allow more than $1.5 billion in spending for Auburn, an increase of 3.84% from 2021. Because of considerable state appropriations to the university, Auburn was able to keep tuition rates level for 2022. Despite this, an increase in enrollment means an additional $13.3 million in tuition and fee revenue. Among many allocations of the budget, an enhancement of the area around the late Harold Franklin's marker near RBD Library was included. The plaza area, created earlier this year, will be unveiled at a special ceremony in November. For a more detailed list on budget allocations, visit the AU newsroom. When we come back, Auburn was ranked well in the Best Colleges ranking of 2021, and there was a fatal accident on a Lee County lake. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. This week's update with Involvement Ambassador President Travis Harrison will help anyone looking to get more involved here at Auburn. Take a look.
Hey y'all, my name is Travis Harrison. I'm with Student Involvement and we got a lot of events going on this week. Monday, the Student Planning Association hosts their guest speaker, Brandie Townsend, at noon in Haley 3206. Ms. Townsend is a graduate of Auburn and has over 16 years of experience in social services, education, and employment. She has worked with the Alabama Department of Human Resources, Montgomery Jobs Corps Center, and the Southeastern Alabama Sickle Cell Association. Tuesday, Emerge is hosting a lunch and learn at 11 a.m. in the Student Center Room 2222. This is just an opportunity for any student who wishes to come and eat free food, learn about leadership skills, and often Lunch and Learn will host student panels and guest speakers, so it's always a lot of fun. Thursday, the Biomedical Engineering Society has invited Dr. Mitchell Gore from the Integrated DNA Technologies to speak about his role with the company, as well as provide an overview of his innovations in CRISPR technology. It'll be held at Ross 136 at 5:30 p.m., and dinner will be provided. Wrapping up on Friday, the Button Mashers Anonymous Club is hosting their member meeting in the Student Center game room at 6 p.m. All the students are invited to show up, join the organization, and play some Super Smash Bros. Attendees are asked to bring their own controller and their own mask. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, there are many other events going on this week. Make sure to log into your account on AU Involved so that you can check the full list there.
The U.S. News and World Report announced their list for best colleges of 2022 recently, putting Auburn University at 42nd among public schools and 99th among all universities in the country. There is a wide range of categories in which colleges are ranked in the Best Colleges Report, with Auburn ranked highly in many. The Best Colleges Report is one of the most widely referenced measurements of undergraduate programs, with rankings based on quality markers like faculty info, social mobility, alumni donation, and academic reputation. The Best Colleges Report can be found online at usnews.com/colleges.
Last week, the Auburn Board of Trustees unanimously voted in favor of adding a plaque to the Wallace Hall wall on campus to address the problematic history of the building's namesake, Governor George Wallace. Wallace's former political views favored segregation until later in his life, when he apologized for any words or actions made in support of segregation. The decision to add the plaque was made after an Auburn student enlisted the help of almost 12,000 signatures on an online petition through the platform change.org, a petition created in support of changing the building's name. Trustee Elizabeth Henley assures that this new plaque, once installed, will give both political and historical context to the timeline of Wallace's career.
The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency's Marine Patrol Division are investigating a boating crash that occurred this past Monday morning. At about 6:20 a.m. on September 13th, 58-year-old Walter Mitchell was fatally injured when his fishing boat collided with another boat in Hallowaki Creek off Lake Harding in Lee County. Deputies with the Lee County Sheriff's Office are also assisting the investigation. Currently, no further information is available as the investigation continues. When we come back, members of Team USA Gymnastics testified in front of Congress and yet another hurricane hit the U.S. Gulf Coast. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. Elite gymnasts and members of the Team USA's gymnastics team testified before Congress this week, discussing the lack of immediate action from the FBI when it came to the Larry Nassar sexual abuse case. This lack of action allowed Nassar, the now disgraced Team USA gymnastics trainer, to sexually abuse members of the team after complaints had already been raised.
When I think of the FBI, I think of truth, integrity, and honor, and yet the reality of their actions was the exact opposite. One of the FBI core values is listed as accountability. So let me ask, where is the accountability? Where is the accountability for letting Larry continue to sexually assault little girls on your watch? Where is the accountability for those at the FBI who chose to place personal gain ahead of their duties to protect and serve? Had anyone at the FBI done their job, then I would not be here speaking to you today.
During the hearing, current director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, who was not head of the Bureau at the time of Nassar's investigation, vowed nothing like this would happen again.
I'd like to make a promise to the women who appeared here today and to all survivors of abuse. I am not interested in simply addressing this wrong and moving on. It's my commitment to you that I and my entire senior leadership team are going to make damn sure everybody at the FBI remembers what happened here in heartbreaking detail. We need to remember the pain that occurred when our folks failed to do their jobs. We need to study it. We need to learn from it.
Larry Nassar is currently serving his sentence of 40 to 125 years in prison.
Coronavirus deaths are now averaging 1,600 a day in the United States. Currently, more than 100,000 hospital beds are currently filled with COVID patients nationwide. However, there appears to be some good news. The nation is seeing case numbers at the lowest point in 3 weeks. In New York, Monday was the first day residents and visitors had to show proof of vaccination to enter restaurants, gyms, and entertainment venues. It's also the first day all New York City students are welcome back in the classroom since last year.
This is the day we have been waiting for.
A pivotal day in New York City as people of all ages face new requirements aimed at beating back COVID-19. And many of the city's municipal employees return to their workplaces.
You're going to remember in the history of this city, this day, September 13th, 2021, a day that was a game changer.
Proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test now required at indoor restaurants, bars, gyms, and entertainment venues, with companies that don't enforce the rule facing fines. Children under 12, too young to be vaccinated, will have to mask up. Same goes for the nation's largest school district, where all students and teachers must be masked as full-time in-person learning begins. And all public school employees must receive at least one dose of vaccine by September 27. Meanwhile, at least 7 schools in Fulton County, Georgia, reverted to virtual learning today due to a spike in COVID cases, with the CDC director warning of the Delta variant.
I would say dangerous is more transmissible, right? If it is more transmissible, we have more kids with disease, we have more kids with symptomatic disease, and more kids ending up in the hospital.
Experts say widespread mandates could be key to ending the pandemic.
I think that if you get trusted public messengers who put aside political ideologies and convince people to get vaccinated, the other way to do it is to have many, many more mandates.
One reason President Biden announced companies with more than 100 employees must require they be vaccinated or tested weekly.
We've heard a lot of feedback from the Business Roundtable and others that this will help create safer workplaces.
But blowback was swift.
The problem is that I'm trying to overcome resistance, but the president's actions in a mandate hardens the resistance.
And after too many maternity ward staffers at one upstate New York hospital quit over vaccination requirements, a stunning step.
We are unable to safely staff the service after September 24th. The number of resignations received leaves us no choice but to pause delivering babies at Lewis County General Hospital.
An FDA committee is set to talk about COVID-19 vaccine boosters for general public on Friday. If approved, it would mean a third shot for everyone who received the Pfizer vaccine. Moderna has also submitted data to the FDA for approval of booster doses, but today there's continuing debate over the necessity of a third shot. Mandy Gaither has more on what both sides are saying in today's Health Minute.
In just days, the FDA could give the green light to COVID-19 boosters, a third shot for everyone who got the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, Moderna seeking the same for those who got its vaccine. For weeks, top U.S. health officials have said an additional dose may help provide further protection against the coronavirus.
The durability of the protection tends to wane, particularly in the context of the Delta variant.
But the booster debate took a turn Monday with this opinion piece published in The Lancet from an international group of vaccine scientists, including 2 retiring FDA leaders. It says COVID-19 vaccines do not currently show a need for boosting. The lead author saying, taken as a whole, the currently available studies do not provide credible evidence of substantially declining protection against severe disease, which is the primary goal of vaccination. One expert isn't ruling it out in the long run.
In the bigger picture, I do believe that boosters will be likely needed. The timing and nuances of these are hard.
On the other side of the booster argument, the FDA saying the views of the authors do not represent the views of the agency. We look forward to a robust and transparent discussion on Friday about that application. But about 75 million eligible people in the U.S. have yet to roll up their sleeves. Some experts say the focus needs to be on them.
Let's get vaccine doses into people who are unvaccinated, and then we will see.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
This week, Hurricane Nicholas made landfall in Texas as a Category 1 storm. An already battered U.S. Gulf Coast was hit by Nicholas on Tuesday. The Category 1 storm is the 14th storm of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season and the 6th hurricane to make landfall in the Gulf of Mexico. There are still approximately 2 months remaining in the current Atlantic hurricane season. Despite that fact, this year has nearly surpassed the current 30-year average of named storms per season at 14.4. The case is the same for the average number of hurricanes, currently sitting at 7.2. Last year's hurricane season, however, produced 30 total storms, 14 hurricanes, and 7 Category 3s and above. When we return, Eagle Eye's Mackenzie Collins has an Auburn sports update you won't want to miss. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Mackenzie Collins here with your update on all Auburn sports. 1-2 loss against the first-ranked Florida State Seminoles. The Auburn soccer team looks to get back on their feet tomorrow night. Freshman Carly Thatcher was named Top Drawer Soccer Team of the Week, honorable mention. This will make the 4th Auburn player to be recognized for the reward in 4 straight weeks. The 6-1 Tigers will open up SEC play against the 7-1 Georgia Bulldogs at the Auburn Soccer Complex Friday night. Kickoff is set for 6:30 Central Time and can be watched on SEC Network Plus and the Watch ESPN app. Auburn volleyball enters its last weekend of non-conference action, still scorching hot. They are 6-0 while only losing a combined 2 sets in all of their matches. Bella Rosenhall was named SEC Defensive Player of the Week after she tallied a total of 45 digs and 8 assists in their past 2 matches. Auburn is set to host a weekend tournament beginning with a doubleheader on Friday starting at 12:30 versus Florida A&M inside Auburn Arena. Now to the main event. Auburn football travels to Happy Valley for the first time in school history to take on the 10th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. This will be the first true test of the season for the Tigers as it travels to one of the most hostile environments in the country. Penn State previously announced that their annual whiteout will occur when the Tigers come into town. So Auburn fans traveling to the game, be sure to wear orange to stick out from the opposing fans. Penn State opens up as a 5-point favorite to win the game, but Brian Harsin expects his team to come prepared and composed for the anticipated matchup. The primetime game will be broadcasted on ABC at 6:30 Central Time. That is all we have for Auburn sports tonight, but for more sports updates, check out our Twitter at EETV_sports and our website at eagleeyeauburn.com. My name is Mackenzie Collins, and we're Eagle. Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. Holy Guacamole. Thursday is National Guacamole Day. You can celebrate the dip, spread, or salad that is made from avocados by making homemade guac, or you could go out to a local Mexican restaurant to get some. You can also post on social media using hashtag National Guacamole Day. Avocados, by the way, grow on trees, and while many people consider them a vegetable, they are technically a fruit like tomatoes. The fruit is native to Central America and Mexico, but were first planted in Florida in 1833 and started growing in California 3 years later.
Staff members at Marion Military Institute in Alabama recently went beyond the call of duty for one of their graduates. It was a small act of kindness, but it was rewarded with a very large check. In fact, the donation was far more than anyone at the Institute could have imagined. George McDonald reports.
We had an alumnus from San Antonio, Texas, who had not been in touch with us since he graduated from MMI, and he had lost his yearbook.
He was looking for a yearbook from 1969.
And we didn't have an extra one.
But a few weeks later, another graduate, totally unaware of the situation, finds a box of MMI yearbooks in a thrift store. He bought the box of yearbooks and donated them to the school. And as fate would have it, a 1969 yearbook was among the collection.
Vanessa Nicholson is our archivist, and she promptly gets the 1969 yearbook and mails it to this alumnus. Dr. George Rapier is his name.
Rapier eventually reached out to school officials about making a donation to the school, although he'd done neither of those things before over the years.
The gift arrives, and we all are anticipating opening this gift, and there's the check for $1 million.
We weren't expecting that, you know. $1 million check isn't something you see every day, that's for sure.
Mollahan says the experience reinforces the focus the school puts on leadership and character development.
It was a good way to reinforce why being good and being kind and saying nice things to people and just helping them out can come back and really give you something back that you hadn't expected.
Reporting from Marion, George McDonald, Alabama News Network.
This week's Pet of the Week is quite the lovey-dovey kitty. Fifi would love to meet her new forever family where she can be spoiled to the ends of the earth with yummy wet food, soft blankets, and all the mouse toys she can imagine. She enjoys talking to you throughout the mornings and is always up for a head rub or 3. Fifi is 8 months old, spayed, vaccinated, and microchipped. She's FIV negative and her adoption fee is just $10.
We're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Heesun Yoon.
And I'm Jack West. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.